Welcome to the FLL Challenge Zoom session, coaches meeting. And I'm Craig Peterman, program delivery partner for the state of Wisconsin. And I got Jay Church here, head referee, and Brian Farrell, head judge, although he's traveling today. So thank you for joining us while on the road, Brian. So it was a big weekend or week, whatever, when we placed 252 challenge teams into the 11 regionals. Those that signed up on time, roughly 90% of them, a little bit less, got their first choice. I have not heard any complaints, so I guess going down to the second and third choice worked out in those particular cases. And in those cases, it was pretty much two drivers. One is Franklin, the last regional was 100% oversubscribed based on the capacity. So roughly 20 plus teams had to be put somewhere else. And then the other driver typically was 4 or 5 teams that wanted to go to the same tournament. And therefore, it just made sense to move them as a group to one of their second or third choices. So it worked out, at least so far, well. Haven't heard any complaints. And I'm still getting emails of teams that still want to participate. So we're finding them homes, finding them regionals that hopefully are convenient for them. It may not be their first choice, but at least it's an opportunity. So we're still open for business. We still have some capacity at a handful of tournaments. So we'll find an opportunity for those teams. The payment process seems to be working. So BadgerBots, we went to a new system this year for basically everything, and of course, payment was an important step in that process, and it seems to be working. So don't forget to do so. That's one of the main requirements before any team can participate in the regional. That link will be open until the season is over. So you want to get paid before your regional tournament comes, starting in a few, later in October. I'll start sending out reminders, not just on paying the fee, but also for those teams that aren't event ready at first. That means you have to get through their whole process and get the team registered, get paid there, pay first fee. And then the 2 mentors have to go through the youth protection program. After all that is completed, then the team is event ready. So I would say roughly 25% of the teams participating still need to complete that step. And then finally, I had one other thing on my mind, but I'm drawing a blank. So I will then pass off to Jay if there's anything from the Slack channel or anything that's come up in the last week that you would like to address.
So I just want to point out to everyone that we did get some robot game updates. We haven't been here in 2 weeks on this call, so just want to remind everybody to definitely go to the update page and check that out. There's a clarification of where the experts start and end for scoring positions. So that's something that we've had a couple questions about. Also, one note, just letting somebody else into the room. One thing to note is they did clarify the art piece. So if you haven't looked at that, make sure you take a look. It says teams attempting mission 4 must identify their art piece during the pre-match inspection. So you will be required to identify what your art piece is. That will obviously avoid conflicts of teams just parking their robot in the scoring issue or scoring section at the end and saying that's our art piece. So I think that's a very good update. So yeah, at least every week before your practices, go there, look at challenge updates. They also do judging updates. I don't see anything pertaining to judging in there at this point, but good to keep an eye on. I will check the Slack channel and make sure there's nothing we need to share. I had a couple top secret questions that were asked and gone through those, but I don't want to share those here.
Wasn't there a question of what a masterpiece is?
Oh.
It can't just be a single Lego, can
Oh,
it?
sure. Yeah, it can actually. So,
Oh, okay.
that's actually a good point. So in the past, and most of the coaches here will be familiar with that. In the past, we were required to have a specific size and or specific piece count, and there was also in the past you had to make your innovation project model out of specific pieces and specific bags. None of those rules exist. So you can designate whatever Lego pieces you would like as your art piece. You just have to designate it before the match, so it gets done during inspection.
Okay.
I guess I'll just make it clear: it does not have to be built out of the bag that's provided. That says you can provide it. You can build it out of those pieces. There's no requirement that you build out of that bag. Just that they are there in case you want to use that bag for.
Okay. Brian, anything from the judging perspective?
Nothing that judging perspective directly. Keep in mind the rubrics are on the website, firstinspires.org. Go to the challenge material for this year, and it's the same rubrics that we're using for judging. So start going through those with your team. Make sure that they're aware of those, and so, you're addressing the rubrics, because that's what you'll be judged with.
And so I'll go ahead and share that screen real quick just so you guys can see where it is. Firstinspires.org. Go to your programs, go down to the challenge program, and that will be your rubrics under the judging and rubrics. So you have a gray version and a color version. You'll have the core values, the innovation project, and the robot design. So that's what we're talking about with the rubric. You guys can find all of the other information there as well, all the challenge information for the season. Okay. Questions from anyone?
All right. Yeah, we'll open it up for questions then. It's all yours, coaches.
Yeah, I had a quick question about volunteering. I saw I got assigned to a volunteer spot. When will I'm not sure if I'm not assigned the training yet, or if my training from the last couple of years counts for this year. So should I expect a training to be assigned to me for my volunteer role?
We're still waiting for the training, the
Okay.
judge training.
Okay, so there's nothing to do yet, is the point, right? Because there's no training for me to take.
Referee training's up.
You hear me?
Sorry, I thought you dropped there for a minute, Brian. Go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, I did see the referee training was up,
Yeah,
but that is not what I was assigned.
no, I
Okay,
understand. I
so-
was just letting everyone know that referee training is posted, judge is not posted. Sorry, Brian, you're cutting in and out there, bud.
Am I okay now?
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, my phone disconnected from the car. So yeah, the training isn't out there yet for the judges. It is for referees, but not for the judges.
Okay, very good.
And not that it's going to help anybody, but there's a question in one of the referee ones as well. That one part of the referee training, we have questions into the first referees because we were told something other than what the training says. So we'll cover that when we get answers, I guess. Great. Other questions? Hi, Brian. Thanks for joining. Brian Hicks. Questions from anyone about anything? Hurry number. Okay.
Wow, this is gonna be a record. If there aren't any other questions, then we will call it. As you all know, you can reach me at FLLteams@badgerbots.org. If there's no further questions, we'll call it. We got Appleton, the first tournament on November 4th, right around the corner. So I imagine all the teams are quite busy preparing for their upcoming tournaments. Very exciting time. So
I literally have no idea what.
can you repeat that? I didn't understand that. Or maybe that wasn't a question.
Riley, did you have a question, or was that just your mic was on?
I think it was someone from the outside. I apologize.
Okay.
Over my shoulder. That's what I'm saying. People.
Okay. If nothing else, we'll call it an evening.
I just had a quick question. I promise
Yeah.
it's brief.
Oh,
For
Jen.
scrimmage
Okay.
in a few weeks. Just to trying to understand how many game tables there might be to actually have the kids practice running the robot in front of judges or reps.
You're going to Waukesha?
Yeah,
So normally we do 2 table sets, right, Brian? The plan still?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
The 4 tables, 2 sets.
okay, 4 tables and then only 2 of those tables will have refs at them, right?
I think you have 4 refs.
Well, we should have a ref at each table. I mean, you guys
Okay.
know it's kind of looser. You guys were there before. So for
Right.
those of you that don't know, it's looser than at tournament. There's usually plenty of time to do runs and all that stuff, but it's not just for you guys as well. Some of the referees have never seen a table assembled for the season yet, so yeah, we're gonna get a few there so they can get some hands on with it as well.
Okay, and when is the latest those tables will be open? Because we have an afternoon judging time, which is new for us this year. So when do the tables close and when do you start packing up? So we know when we should be there to actually practice the runs.
I don't have the hours in front of me, but Brian may know it if you can hear us.
I think it's, yeah, I can hear you. I think it's like 4 o'clock is when we said the day goes through.
Okay,
But I'd say, the more, if you want more matches, come early. And then again, you can be there and iterate, right, on things. You can use it as a working session.
right. Okay, nope, that was my question. I just wanted to kind of understand what kind of time limit we might be running up against. So ideally, we would try to do some of those matches before we actually go into judging is what I'm hearing.
What time is your judging, Jen?
Is that like 1?
Oh, yeah. Well, whatever you want. We'll be there.
Again, it depends what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Well, I think we just want to get exposure for the new people who haven't done robot running before. So more reps, the better. I just wanted to make sure we weren't, closing up shop with you.
Yeah, I guess so. The one thing that usually I have to do each year is I have to remind teams, you can iterate and stuff while you're there. But some teams that aren't really ready to do runs, they want to use it more for a practice session sometimes and do all their programming and stuff on the tables. So if we have other people waiting, we will have to ask them to move off the tables. But there's usually plenty of time for everyone to do their runs. It's just not time for everyone to do all their in-place programming on. That's not
Yep.
specifically for you, Jen.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll still try to get something together here.
No, I wasn't pointing that out for you. I know you guys are.
No, but understood. I just want to make sure I set expectation with the team. Sometimes some of them get super involved and focused, and I just want to make sure they understand there's a time limit.
Yeah. Ish. Yeah.
Brian, are there any spots still available for the scrimmage or are they filled?
I think there might be a couple. I'll double check. I'll have to do it. I can post it in Slack.
Okay.
Great. Well, if you guys have any questions, just post to Slack or just email back, newsletter, just reply back, and it'll go to Greg, and he'll send it to the correct person. Great. I think that's it, guys.
Yeah, I just have a question for Craig while he's on,
Yeah.
but not everybody else has to listen to it because it's an Explore question.
Oh,
course.
do you want to do?
Of course, yeah.
Go ahead in case
Fire
someone
away,
else.
Jen.
Okay, so I was just wondering when the system would cut over to Explore, to the Explore signups, so that we can get an idea of how many kids will be coming to our Explore tournament.
You talking about the registration?
Yes, exactly.
Well, you're capped at 10 anyway.
Right, I just want to understand, I need to reach out to those teams to understand time slots, so so is it already open to
Okay.
Explore? And so I got
No.
kind of confused with okay, it's not, okay.
No, we have not set up the Explore registration yet. We're thinking through how we want to do it different than what Challenge was, because there's different factors and different parameters. As you know, an Explore team could, in theory, go to multiple events. There's nothing stopping them from doing that. So the question is, how do we keep track of, what all the preferences are, but then who actually went to each one of the festivals? And, we obviously want to give opportunity to as many teams as we can. So there's some details that we got to work through before it goes live. Still committed to doing that by, mid to late October.
Okay, all right, so we probably won't know the teams in there. And we probably won't know who has applied to our tournament realistically until
Late October.
late October.
Yeah. Yeah. Yours is the 12th.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, hopefully 12 days is enough, and I'll fire over the contact team information as soon as I have it.
Okay, sounds good, thanks.
Yep.
That is all, I promise.
We're here as long as you want to go.
I will tell you, Explore is, I don't want to say exploding, but nonetheless, I have interest from another FTC team that wants to put on an Explore festival. They didn't even realize that we were doing a larger effort statewide, and I asked if they wanted to be brought into that effort, and I just haven't heard back yet. So quite possibly another Explore festival on December 9th. Which is the same day as the Oak Creek sectional for Challenge. So again, do we want to do them at the same time, at the same place, or do they do their own thing? Those are, discussions that are ongoing that we need to resolve. But it's, it's going to be a fun Explore season, a lot of opportunities for the kids.
All right, everyone.
All right.
I'll try to get this call posted up tonight. I'm going to be on the computer for a little bit, so we'll try to get it.
Oh,
Not yet.
I think I may have forgotten in my opening remarks. This call was recorded.
Oh, yeah.
You heard it as you entered the room, but nonetheless. All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, everybody.
Good luck with your seasons.